Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here. Today we're going to talk about sharing the wealth and passing off your missed opportunities to your friends. Hello my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where my job is to make you the best possible entertainers that you can be. Now, has this ever happened to you where someone rings you on the phone, they want to book you, they're ready to go, they like what you have to offer, and oh no, I'm already booked, or I'm going out of town that weekend, or I got something else going on and I cannot take the gig? Oftentimes what we do is we say, you know what, I'm really sorry, I'm not available, best of luck to you. We hang up and send them on their merry way to go out into the wild and look for a magician to cover their event. Happens all of the time. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how you can keep that money in your inner circle of friends and even profit a little extra off the top of that. I'm also going to give you guys a little bit of advice from a good friend of mine of ways that you can use this method to handle objections when someone says, oh, you know, you're outside my budget. Rather than losing that gig, I'm going to teach you guys how to keep that gig, and maybe you won't make exactly the amount of money that you wanted, but it's going to work out in a way that is a win-win for you. Right? Sound good? Are we excited? Awesome, me too. So, welcome to the channel. If you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell. That way you guys know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to join the channel, become a member, unlock some bonus content, please click the join button, just like some of these guys did. Please welcome our newest members. You got Foscol, Devin Chapman, Robert Blair, Hiram Norman, and Ian Batterberry. Thank you guys so much for becoming members. It really is because of you that I'm able to keep this channel going. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You guys unlock all kinds of cool bonus stuff, so enjoy it. Please take advantage of all of the stuff. If you guys would like to join, click the join button or check the membership tab for more information. All right, so how in the heck can I profit off of not booking a gig, right? And the answer is very, very simple. You want to set up a circle of friends, some magicians that you know, some colleagues, magicians that you trust, and you want to put them all together into a group that you can forward leads to that you are not able to book. So for example, let's just say a client comes to me, they want to book me for something, but I'm not available that day. What I can do is I can let my circle of magician friends know, hey guys, I'm not able to take this gig, who wants it? And then one of them will book the gig instead, and then they get to do the gig even though you couldn't do it, right? Now you might be thinking, well, how does that benefit me, right? Well, it benefits you in two ways. Number one, you're keeping that money inside that circle of friends, right? So the way that I have it set up is I've created like a Facebook group chat, right? Or you can use like a text message group chat, or you can use like Slack or whatever those, you know, these different types of, you know, meeting apps or whatever, and you can keep track of everyone in that. And what you can do is you can send the information to them all at once and let them know, hey guys, here's the gig lead. First person to respond gets it, and then they'll go ahead and call the client and they'll book it and all that stuff. Now, the way that you're able to benefit from this is not only are you giving them leads that you're not able to do, but they are also contributing to leads that they're not able to do in that group chat, right? So if one of them is not able to take a lead, they can post that lead there, and now you have an opportunity to book more work based off of the lead that they dropped inside of the chat. The second way that you can benefit from it is taking a percentage as a commission, a little finder's fee, right? For me, I'll usually charge like 10%. So let's just say a client wants to book me and I pass along the gig and their budget is $1,000. I'm going to pass the gig along to this person for $900, and then I keep $100 of it, right? Really, really simple. Now, I highly recommend that you guys come up with some ground rules before doing this. One of the big ones that I've noticed is What is the absolute lowest you guys want me bothering you for on this? Because sometimes you'll get a lot of these like $100 gigs, $200 gigs, $150 gigs, $175 gigs. And if I'm constantly posting these in the chat and they're seeing a bunch of just like these lower end paying gigs, they might not want them, right? So what I recommend is coming up with an agreement amongst everybody. What is the absolute lowest that you guys want me to even bother reaching out for, right? So let's just say it's $500. If a client cannot guarantee at least booking at $500 and they're trying to haggle with you and they're like, oh, what about $350, blah, blah, blah. Say, I'm really sorry, it's not gonna be worth anyone's time to do it for anything less than $500. If you can do at least $500, I can put you in touch with one of my colleagues, right? So having some kind of a minimum is gonna make it very beneficial, because otherwise what's gonna happen is you're gonna be dropping these gigs in this chat. No one's gonna want them, and people are gonna start getting irritated because they're constantly being lit up by all of these notifications and stuff. So that's what I recommend. And then the second thing that I recommend too is making sure that the people that are in the chat are vetted. Either they're friends of yours, someone that you know personally, someone that you've worked with before in the past, or if you don't know who this person is, please do your research on them, look at their reviews. You want to think about it from the standpoint of a guest that's going to be, or like a client that's going to be booking this person, right? Because let's just say someone tries to book you, you're not available, and you pass that lead off to someone else, and then they like don't show up, or they're like a terrible person, they're really rude, whatever. That's going to look really bad on you because you referred that magician to the client, right? Because you're going to tell the client, you know, I'm really sorry I'm not available, but I can send someone in my place that I've worked with that's a really good performer, you know, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna hype this person up, get the client excited about this person that you're gonna give them, and then you're gonna give the client to that person, right? So you don't wanna hype this person up and then this person's an asshole. You know what I mean? So make sure that you know who these people are that you're working with. Now, I mentioned that there is a way to pass gigs along to people, right? To keep that money within that circle of friends of yours. And at the same time, you can handle these objections when you give someone your price and they're like, ooh, you know, that's a little bit outside my budget. You know, do you think you can do it for this price instead, right? So that can happen sometimes. Maybe you don't want to take that gig. So instead of you taking that gig, as long as they meet the threshold of that lowest bottom price that you set up in that group chat, instead of you taking it, you can refer it. Or here's another thing that you can do. This is actually an idea by my good friend Richard Rebuffo. He talked to me about this. What he likes to do is just go ahead and book the client, but with a caveat. He tells the client, look, normally I charge this for this. That is outside your budget. I am willing to work with you in your budget. I will go ahead and book you in at the price that you are able to afford. But here's the caveat. If I'm not booked that evening and I have nothing else going on, I will personally attend your event and I will personally offer the full service, the same as if you paid full price for it. Now, if for some reason I'm not available, maybe another client books me, you will still have an entertainer at your event. It just will not be me. It will be someone else that I work with, that I trust, blah, 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 and you're gonna refer them to that other person, right? So you can book the gig, and instead of working the gig, you can refer it to someone else to keep it kind of in your circle of friends. Or if you're not booked anything else, you're not worried about, oh, I let that gig go. Yeah, I wanted to do it for $1,500. They were gonna pay $850, but man, now I'm just sitting here on a Thursday afternoon watching TV, and I could have gone out and I could have done this gig, right? So you're not losing the opportunity either. It's kind of like having the best of both worlds. But there's a big but here. And that but is you don't want to screw yourself into either A, double booking and not having anyone to cover you and having to cancel one of the leads, or B, trying to be too greedy and go for the higher paying gig and then losing both of them, right? Because that could happen. So let's sort of walk through the process and how this works. The client rings you. They say, hey, I want to book you. You look great. What do you charge for package A? And I tell them package A is $1,500. And they say, man, I really can't afford that. And we go back and forth on the price. And we agree on a price that we're both comfortable with, right? But it's not the full price. It's some lower price. Say $850 is what we agreed on. I'm going to tell the client, I will go ahead and book you in at $850 and you will definitely have an excellent magician at your event. It may or it may not be me specifically though. Are you comfortable with that? You'll definitely have someone there. It just may or may not be me. If they agree, awesome. If they don't agree, you can say, okay, well, you have two options at this point now. You either book me at my price or I can just refer you to someone now and you can get it settled with now and not be wondering if it's going to be me or not, right? Oftentimes, as long as you tell a client, look, you're definitely going to have a magician at your event. It's either going to be me or it's going to be someone else. You know, it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to pay my price? You want me? Or are you going to just have some magician that works with the budget that we agreed on and I can just send that person, right? So let's just say that they agree. What you're going to do now is you're going to book them in your calendar just like you booked it and everything like that. And if nothing else comes along, you know, you don't get any other gig inquiries, no one wants to pay you a rate, you don't get that situation where, you know, you're available, you're able to do the gig, then you can go and do the gig. Yeah, you're not making your full rate, but it's better than nothing, right? Or let's just say you booked the gig and all of that stuff, and you did the whole thing with them and you told them, hey, look, you know, I'm not going to be able, I may or may not be able to make your event, right? And now you get rung up by another client and they say, hey, we want to book you. We want 2 hours of walk around. We know what your budget is. We're good to go. Shoot me a deposit slip, right? What you'll do now is you will tell the people in your chat, hey guys, I have a gig. It's already been booked. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just show up, right? I'll send you the deposit. First person that says that they want they want it gets a deposit. Bada bing, bada boom, right? And then you're going to give them the lead minus your 10% finder's fee. You're going to give them the deposit, and you're going to ring up the client and you're going to say, hey, remember how we discussed I may or may not be there? Well, I was booked by someone else, but so-and-so is going to cover for me. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys. He's an amazing magician, blah, 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 blah. And you put those two people in contact. And now you're out of it. It's between them now. They're the ones that are going to figure everything out moving forward. You've already transferred the deposit over. So now that magician has the deposit. Again, minus your finder's fee. And then they're responsible for collecting whatever remaining balance is owed, right? And now that that is taken care of, I'm going to send the invoice and all of that stuff to the other client that wants to book me at full price. And now they're going to book me, and now I'm going to do that gig, and now I'm going to get my full rate, right? So again, it's really easy to screw this up, right? So the key here is having a really, really good communication between your clients and your fellow magicians who are in this referral group chat that you've set up. What you don't want is a situation where you book the client at less than what you wanted, and then another client rings you and they want to book you, and now you're booked on both gigs on the same day at the same time, and now you're trying to offload this gig over here, the lower paying gig, to your friends, and no one's available to take it. Well, now you've booked two different gigs and you're not able to get coverage on this other one. That could happen. So you want to make sure that you're in constant communication with all three parties involved. Client A, client B, and your group chat, right? And I highly, highly recommend you make sure that you get coverage on this one before you close this one. And the way that I do that is very, very simple. I go through the whole process with client B the one that wants to pay me my rate. And I explain to them, everything is great. I just got to double check to make sure that I'm absolutely available that day. Can you give me like maybe 15, 20 minutes and I'll let you know. And then I'll go ahead and get the process started to go ahead and get you guys booked in, right? And then you're gonna let your referral group know what's going on. Someone's gonna take it. You're gonna get rid of that gig. And then you can let this client know, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you over an invoice now, fill out the invoice, blah, blah, blah. And now you book them in, right? That's why it's very, very important, like I said earlier, to make sure that you know the people that are in the group chat are reliable. Not just because it's gonna look bad on you if they're not, but you also want them to be reliable in this instance where you're trying to give them a gig, right? You don't want to run into the situation where like no one's responding, like you're desperately trying to get rid of this gig and like everyone's leaving you on red. You can see that they all read it, but no one wants to take it or whatever, right? And that could happen. And if that ever does happen, now you're in a situation where you're going to tell client B, I'm actually not available because of XYZ reason, but I can put you in touch with another magician. And now you might run the risk of just giving that gig to someone else. And someone else might be like, oh, well, wait a minute. You were trying to get rid of that $850 gig, but now you're trying to give us a $1,500 one. And they might bite and they might take that one. And you might lose out on it. It really is a gamble. It really is a gamble, you know? So my biggest thing is to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you're double booked. And hopefully you're not giving both gigs away, right? Because on the opposite end of the spectrum, you can get someone to cover this one, but you took too long and you didn't communicate very well with the client over here. And now they're like, oh, you know, I'm really sorry, but I hadn't heard from you in a couple days and I went ahead and I booked someone else already. And now you're out the gig because you gave the gig away and this client booked someone else over here. And now you're just out both gigs now. So it's really important to be in communication with all parties involved. You want to be punctual. You want to keep things moving. You don't want to be delaying or dragging on anything. And you want it to be very clear to the people in your group chat that you don't want anyone dragging on this. You need people to respond. Sorry, I'm not available. Or yes, I'm available. I'd love to take it. You don't want a bunch of people reading what you're posting and not responding to it. And if you're noticing that they're doing that, you can that's why I said at the start, lay some ground rules. Let them know, please respond available or not available. First person to say that they're available gets the lead. But if you're not available, I'd like to know. I want to know that you guys are actively looking to see if you're not available or not, rather than just ignoring the group chat or whatever, right? So that's just a couple of bits of advice there for you to help keep your money in your inner circle and make a little bit of money off of that as well. So you're not completely losing out on it. You are able to still recover from it. Just this holiday season alone, I've made over $500 just referring out maybe like 8 or 9 gigs to people that I couldn't take, right? Just because they all wanted to book me on the same day and I'm already booked. And at the end of the year, I'm going on vacation. I'm not going to be available. So rather than just throw those gigs away, I gave them to my friends and they're happy. I'm making them thousands of dollars, right? So it works out. It's a win-win. Everyone's happy. And at the end of the day, you're not feeling too bad about giving these gigs away. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, I hope you enjoyed this. Go ahead and do so. Ring the notification bell so you guys know when I upload new videos. I have a bunch of really cool magic products available as well on my website in my online magic shop. So if you guys want to go find some cool doodads to take home and add to your act, to blow your friends' minds, your clients' minds, your enemies' minds, whoever's minds you want to blow, I highly recommend you guys go check that out at o'brienmagic.com. And again, if you click the join button, you guys can become a member. I have a bunch of really cool unlockables for members, early access videos, tutorials, the live Q&A sessions, one-on-one sessions with me, all kinds of really cool stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.